Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, and welcome to a special video. I wanted to do a quick point-for-point analysis, first impression, and overall lingering opinion on Metal Gear Survive. The recent amount of Gamescom news has been surprisingly vast, a lot more to remember than I thought since last year. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that this expo didn't come with some disappointment, and I'll explain perfectly why as we go along. The common complaints that we have been getting with Metal Gear Survive and why people don't like it. Let's begin. First off, what is Metal Gear Survive? Metal Gear Survive looks to be a third-person action game used with the Fox engine to realize the dream of 4-player co-op in the midst of an alternate dimension. The events of the game happen right during Ground Zeroes, right before Big Boss and Miller escape Mother Base after the assault of XOF forces. Dead and alive Mother Base members are then sucked into a wormhole, which takes them to a decrepit, lawless land, where the biggest threat is now the presence of zombie-like creatures that now have a crystal-like pattern in their bodies due to the distorted time warp. Now, in order to survive, it's up to the player and the newly added 4-player co-op to end the threat of the zombie outbreak. Konami did state that Metal Gear Survive will not cost full retail price, making this a standalone entry for $30. While Konami didn't confirm or deny characters showing up that's iconic to the Metal Gear timeline, they did state that massive threats will be taking place within this alternate dimension, alluding to the fact that a Metal Gear might be involved in this outbreak and that there's a new addition to the Metal Gear Solid 5 experience with this game, which means that some gameplay elements might tie in to Metal Gear Survive from Metal Gear Solid 5 in general. However, let's get into the key point of why this is disliked so much, in my personal opinion. Why is this disliked so much? It's something I can only tell you from my point of view. I can't speak for everyone, but this is absolutely horrendous timing and a mixture of vast disappointment. I feel the same way as you guys. I feel as though this is not quite what I had in mind for Konami to reassure the fanbase after countless moments of bad PR. Countless concerns being unanswered about the falling out of Konami and Kojima, and how that situation came to a boiling point when the gamers were informed about the company disallowing Kojima to attend the Game Awards. Now, let's be real, let's be honest, and let's be sincere. I have seen a lot of hypocritical comments today, and one of them, pretty much paraphrased, says that Konami gets a lot of blind hate these days, more than any game developer out there on the market. To which I respond, bullshit. They pretty much deserve it. We have perfect exhibits of documentations, former employees of Konami coming out and saying this company treats you worse than a dog. And I've read some of these documents. I remember when they were just coming out, pouring out left and right, back and forth. And some of them were the most inhumane things I have ever read in my life. The falling out with Kojima did not help. The cancellation of Silent Hills did not help. Putting out countless IPs on pachinko machines where you could do better in the console market did not help, and you people know this. This company did a lot of things wrong in my opinion, and I totally am in agreement with that. In my opinion, I think Konami really needs to reorganize. They need to focus. They need to reassess themselves. And they need to figure out what makes games enjoyable, what makes games fun, and bring that back to the console market. I saw it not too long ago that they are not out of the console game just yet. So, if that's the case, why aren't you making frequent console games as a console developer? What a lot of fans want to see is a lot of key IPs being revitalized for the modern era. So they don't just want to see all these IPs being shoved into pachinko machines and just calling it for a rainy day. They want to see some core gameplay that's fun from your initial IPs that they enjoyed. I think that's the only way to keep fans legitimately excited, is to make sure you stay in the console market like you said, while delivering top quality content that people actually wanted. And I think we've seen a situation like this before with Metal Gear Rising. However, that game turned out to be more of a fan favorite because it had good gameplay, it had good elements, it had good graphics, and a lot of people tend to enjoy that level of quality. I mean, Kojima ultimately made the right decision by going to platinum, and this just seems like an uninspired cash-in, blatant milking, something that really didn't need to exist, given the fact that a lot of people, if they wanted survival horror, then I just don't see why they don't revitalize Silent Hill, which is another thing that the fans want, and it's been denied to them. I know sometimes you can't please everyone, but Konami really has to do this premise. They need to kiss some ass, because at this point they did so much negative PR that people just aren't interested when they announce something. So we have another key point here. Why are some people calling the zombie genre bland? All because this game is using it. Metal Gear has always been known for supernatural elements. How is that weird all of a sudden? The latter is true. We had Psycho Mantis disable our television screens as a kid. We had ridiculous boss battles with Liquid Snake, who would have died under normal conditions if this was grounded in reality, but the Metal Gear series has never, ever been grounded in reality. Metal Gear has always been one of those little oddball series that you kind of come to know and appreciate. It has some quirky and weird and questionable humor, but Kojima even knows this. It's sort of an inside joke if you ask me, and he even puts this into the game design itself on purpose. However, zombie genres in general have been very overdone these days. It's a very rare occurrence that you see something that's significantly different to the format. A recent movie that's coming out called The Girl with the Gifts, a movie in recent memory that I know of, seems to be the only zombie movie in particular that's doing something interesting and different. I can see the reaction of people calling it a bland presentation in general, because for Metal Gear Survive, let's be honest, the trailer for Metal Gear Survive really wasn't that impressive, and I think that personally this could have been offered as DLC down the line for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, but this seems like a $30 milked-in standalone entry that Konami wants the consumer to pay for. It's sad because co-op for the longest time was the most requested feature in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, alongside the fabled Chapter 3, which we're never probably going to get unless it's bundled alongside the rumored definitive edition that's coming out in October. The last key point here is, what is the future of Metal Gear now, and what do I think of it? Well, I can honestly tell you it doesn't look too optimistic. I do think that in the long run, all Konami will constantly do is milk the franchise to high heaven now with a lot of side content, and they'll probably bleed MGO dry. That's my estimation. Then, for the sake of preservation, Metal Gear Solid 6 is probably going to be canned because of all the critical backlash on Konami, because all their content is getting massively disliked. No one likes them. They don't have a good reputation right now. So, like it or not, Konami's falling out with Kojima and the treatment of their employees crucified their reputation. The only saving grace will probably be actually putting something out of value, something worthwhile. So while we can't really judge the quality of Metal Gear Survive since it's not out yet, I hope for their sake it's good, because if it's not, it'll just validate all the fan complaints and all the fan feedback and all the fans saying that all their content right now is garbage. And I don't mean to turn the final part of this video into bashing the people on the opposing side, but I must ask a question. I must pose a question to all you fanatics out there who defend Konami. If Konami doesn't see the error of their ways, what's the point of defending them? This is Renegade Operative signing out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and my overall thoughts on Metal Gear Survive. Take care.